we're going to focus on the surface web. This is typically where most people go and they do their searches and their queries to find out where they want to go on their holiday destinations, where they can buy whatever products they wish to buy, and so forth. And they're normally composed of typical search engines being Google, Wikipedia, and Bing, and one or two other providers. Then below that, the deep web is the majority of where most information normally lies. And what that is that it's information that's normally kept by a large group of different institutions. It can be academic, different multilingual, it can be libraries, governments, organizational resources, it can be legal and many other institutions. And what happens is it's where this information is kept under username and password. So this information is normally either encrypted, it has a username and password, or a multi-factor authentication, or whatever other methods may be used to secure the information. This is where this information sits. And what happens with the dark web is that the dark web is the proliferation of data from the deep web. So if you become compromised, or a company becomes compromised, that information inevitably ends up on the dark web where it could be sold, because a lot of the information that sits in the deep web, which really composes around 90% of all information out there, that information is valuable. So banks would have bank credit cards, transactions, you'd have other intellectual property and so forth, and that all sits within the deep web. And if that becomes compromised through some of the methods that we'll be explaining to you later in the presentation, that information ends up in the dark web. And obviously, there's a lot of illegal content there as well, and nefarious individuals tend to, let's use the word, hang out there together. And this is where a lot of information is traded, and this is what we're going to try and present you today, so there's some clarity and understanding of what happens within the dark web.